Could be coming to the Prairie View Elementary School in Devils Lake, and not everyone's so happy about it. The school is looking to add unisex single-user bathroom stalls when it builds its new 5th grade wing. Now, when you think of public bathrooms, maybe picture something like this. These stalls, they have openings in the top, the bottom. Parents are worried about the privacy in some cases. School leaders say they're going to build something more like this, where each room has its own toilet in it. It locks, it's closed, and then a communal hand washing area. But as Valley News team Sydney Zass explained, some parents aren't happy. They want to stop this from happening. She joins us now live in studio to explain. Sydney.
Justin, it's this petition behind me that has people fighting back right now. 775 signatures. It was started by a parent named Grace Sturts. In the petition, she talks about her child with Crohn's disease and young girls going through their monthly cycle. She says children shouldn't be subject to embarrassment when it comes to emotional and physical challenges. Superintendent Ned Cluton says the privacy has its benefits.
I can tell you that as a high school principal for 16 years, I dreamed of single-user restrooms. They provide a lot more privacy for a person using the restroom, and they eliminate a ton of behavior issues for school-age children.
Cluton also says he's talked with other schools who have done something similar, and those schools say it's cut down on behavioral issues. With the petition having a little under 800 signatures, I did ask if that could change things. That answer is coming up tonight at 10.
Thank you, Sydney. This style is more unisex bathroom area, individual toilet rooms. That's become more common in recent years, including at many schools in Minnesota.